can actually flip houses with no money. The only reason you think you can't is because you've been trained to believe capital matters more than capability, and that lie is keeping you small. If you keep waiting till you have enough, you're going to watch other people build wealth with their excuses while you stay stuck exactly where you are. I've been flipping houses for 9 years. When I first started, I didn't have enough money to do multiple projects at once. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use other people's money to flip houses. A lot of people are interested in flipping houses, but they can't pull the trigger because they worry that they don't have enough money. And some people even ask me, are you using all of your own cash to purchase the flips? The answer is, no, I don't. After doing over 100 flips, I've actually never purchased a house with all of my own money. In my opinion, the beauty of real estate investing is your ability to leverage other people's money. I always tell beginners, don't ever let financing deter you from flipping a house because there are so many ways that you can fund a house flip. Very similar to purchasing a primary home, you can fund most of the purchase price with a loan, either a conventional loan or a hard money loan. If your income supports it, you can easily get a conventional mortgage to purchase a home, and that home can be a house that you are going to flip. A conventional mortgage usually covers up to 80% of the purchase price. That means a huge chunk of the total investment is covered. But that's not even my preferred way of financing a house flip. A hard money loan is asset-based, which means the lender doesn't really care if you're getting steady monthly income, but more of the value of the asset, which is the house that you're borrowing against. As a full-time real estate investor, I don't have a steady W-2 income, so the conventional lenders are not very friendly to me. But with a hard money lender, they look at the deal that I bring to them, and if the deal is solid, then the whole underwriting and funding process can be really fast and smooth. Most hard money lenders can close within 1 or 2 weeks, which gives you a huge edge in the buying process because sellers love getting their money back quickly. Some other differences between a hard money loan and a conventional mortgage is the loan terms. Usually, hard money lasts between 6 to 18 months because they are under the assumption that you are going to turn the project around pretty quickly and repay the loan with the sale proceeds. The interest rate of hard money loans are usually a little higher than a conventional mortgage because with an investment property, the lender is assuming more risk compared to a primary residence. But even with higher interest rate, I still think it's well worth it, and you can build the interest terms into your calculation when you analyze a deal so that you want to make sure that you are still making a good profit after all the expenses and costs. Hard money can also cover up to 90% of the purchase price and up to 100% of the renovation cost. That means you only have about 10% of the purchase price to worry about. But before you go to a hard money lender, you really want to do your due diligence and make sure your deal is profitable because otherwise you wouldn't be able to pass the lender's underwriting. So to do that, I have my secret weapon, my deal analyzer. I use it every day to analyze fix and flip deals, and that helps me make multiple 6 figures on each of my flips. To get access to my deal analyzer, check out the link in the description below. So now that the hard money loan is covering 90% of the purchase price and 100% of the rehab cost, what do you do with the 10% of the purchase price? Do you use your own money? If you have money to do that, of course, by all means. But if you don't have funds available, what do you do? I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little harder compared to if you had the money in your bank account, but it's totally still doable. I've done it many times myself, and so have my students. But let's first determine exactly how much money would be needed. It all depends on the purchase price. For example, in the Bay Area, a fixer-upper would go for at least $1 million. So that makes 10% of the purchase price about $100,000, which is a lot. But in other areas of the country, home prices are on average about $300,000. So 10% of that would only be $30,000. And if that's the case, you can probably cover it with a credit card or a line of credit. But if you're doing deals in the Bay Area, having to come up $100,000 or even more can seem intimidating. But you should first go to your friends and family, because it's always easier to borrow money from people who already know and trust you. But maybe you are like me. I didn't know anybody who I could borrow money from when I was starting out. And that really scared me. I was lucky to have found 3 deals at the same time, but I didn't have enough money to invest in them. That's when I realized that there are a lot of people around you with money, and they're looking to invest in real estate because they know it's a very safe form of investment. You just have to make an effort to get to know them. So I went to a lot of local real estate events. You can find them either on meetup.com or Facebook groups. And then at those events, I made an effort to get to know as many people as possible. And some of the events even give you an opportunity to stand up and talk about your haves and wants. And I stood up every time to talk about my deal and how good the numbers are. And then after the meetings, a lot of people came to me to ask to invest with me. So there are 2 ways to partner up with these investors. You can either use them as private lender or equity partner. If they become your private money lender, then you pay them pre-negotiated interest and points. And it's independent on how the deal goes. If the deal goes really well, you still just owe them the interest and point. And if the deal goes south, then you still have to pay them back. I would recommend this approach if the estimated profit is really high, because then your cost would be limited to the interest and points, and you wouldn't have to pay more if you make more money. You could also get funded by an equity partner, which means you give them part of the deal and part of the profit margin. As a beginner, because you don't have a track record yet, if it's harder for you to find a private money lender to fund your deal, then you may want to consider offering part of the deal so that it's more appealing to an investor. When I was going out looking for a private investor, it really surprised me how much easier it is than I expected, because I showed them my track record as a professional even before my real estate investing career. So they could see that I had good educational background and good kind of professional experience, even though it wasn't related to real estate, but they know that I was a trustworthy person. And then I also presented them the numbers on my deal and showed them my plans. So I was able to get a few people committed to either lending me money or as an equity partner. And it's really a lot easier than you might think. Another way to come up with gap funding is to pull money from multiple people or from a platform instead of looking for the whole amount from just one person, which is called crowdfunding. So if you're borrowing $100,000, instead of getting the whole $100,000 from one person, you can borrow $10,000 from 10 people, which can be easier. So you can pull money from a few friends or investors, or you can use a crowdfunding website. I haven't tried these services myself, but you can Google crowdfunding, house flipping, and I've heard of these websites. Fund That Flip, Realty Shares. There's also a platform called Fractional. I think these are all providing similar service. The good thing about these services is they have lenders who are already committed, so you don't have to seek out the lenders, and they already have the logistics and the legal aspect taken care of. The downside is the process to get multiple lenders committed might take longer, and there's also the cost to use these services. The bottom line is there are so many ways to fund a flip, even if you have no money yourself. So as a beginner, you really want to focus on looking for a great deal first without having to worry about the money part. Because once you have a great deal, there are a lot of people who are ready to invest with you or to lend money to you. Now that you know that you can actually flip houses with no money, so how do you look for a great house flip deal? In this next video, I'm going to walk you through the 3 ways that I find house flip deals. See you there.